Friendship can be very simple for some people, while it can be insanely complex for others. I've unfortunately been given hardly any social skills and tons of social anxiety, so making friends is a challenge for me. While growing up, everyone wants to have a best friend to talk to, hang out with, and have inside jokes with. I had always wanted to have that type of inseparable friendship like I've seen in the movies, so I thought that when I met a girl who I will refer to as Aurora in the 7th grade, I thought I was going to have a lifelong friend like that. We hung out after school together for hours, we had sleepovers at each other's houses eating tons of tangerines, we went to the mall and bought it over the store Lush and how much we both loved their glitter massage bars, and we would talk on the phone for hours. I slowly began to admire how artistic she was, how her dreams were so much bigger than mine, how she always looked really pretty, and I just thought she was a good person. I wanted to help her reach her dreams, and it seemed like she was really supportive of my dreams as well, although we definitely had different goals. She wanted to be an artist, while I wanted a job filming videos in my room and posting them on the internet, which is basically being a professional YouTuber, like Trisha Paytas or Shane Dawson. We had become more and more inseparable. I began to think that we would be friends forever, and we began to tell each other all of our biggest secrets, feelings, and thoughts. This is when I began to see that no person is really perfect. She didn't see any of the amazing things I saw in her, and her real goals were more insignificant to me. All she wanted was to be really popular, and she looked up to the popular girls in our school, wanting to be more like them. I didn't really see why it would be so nice to be popular, and I figured that it'd be a lot more work always having to impress people and seem perfect. Fast forward to one Friday when we were planning to have a sleepover. In the morning, I was ecstatic for Aurora to come over after school and sleep over the entire weekend until that Monday where we would go on a ski trip. Aurora had convinced me to go skiing since she promised me it would be better than the last time I went skiing. She knew I had bad memories regarding the sport since the last time I went skiing I lost my balance, and when I asked a girl to help me, she walked away because she didn't like me. This resulted in me having an awful sprained ankle right before a dance performance. Aurora had never broken a promise to me before, and so I trusted that she would change my opinion about skiing, and maybe I would even love it. In second period, a boy came to school, who I will refer to as Gaston, and I convinced myself love at first sight was real, and I loved him. He never made eye contact with me, but I was convinced if he just talked to me, he would love me too. I told Aurora I called dibs. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but it's very respected amongst children for some reason, and you don't try and steal a boy your best friend calls dibs on. The entire period I admired him from afar, because if you remember what I told you earlier, I'm not very good at forming words around regular people, so around my future husband, I would just be speaking nonsense. Aurora was the opposite of me and went over to talk to him, and by the next period they were partners in a group project without me. I began to be increasingly annoyed at her, and when I saw her laughing loudly at a joke he made and fawning all over him, I snapped slightly. After class, I refused to talk to her, and she was really hurt by it. I could tell how upset it made her that I was ignoring her, and so at the end of the day, I apologized and said it was fine if she liked him too. She seemed to have made up her mind that she wasn't going to talk to me anymore, and that our friendship was ruined. She didn't accept my apology, she said she wasn't going to sleep over, and walked away from me. I was shocked, and felt like I had done her some horrible injustice, and that I needed to seriously make this up to her. I had called her over and over again on the weekend, but she didn't pick up any of my calls, and I was frightened for Monday because I knew I had no other friends in the school. The entire field trip I felt horrible about myself, and needless to say, I hate skiing now. I spent an entire month just trying to get her to talk to me, but while I was trying to become friends with her again, she found new friends. I could tell she was very happy with herself since she had finally joined the elusive popular girl group by telling them lies about me. She had spread all of my secrets, told Gaston I had a collection of his Facebook pictures that I printed, and she said that I thought rude things about all of the popular girls. Everyone began to hate me, made songs about how they thought I was fat, I had to eat lunch in the bathroom, and Gaston even spit on me from the top of the stairs. I did have one friend, who we will call Eric, but since he was more popular than me, he was never fully there for me and never stopped any of these things from happening. Middle school kids can be really mean to you if they want to. The longer Aurora hung out with the popular girls, the more they began to see through all of her lies, until eventually they stopped being her friends and they became my friends. They were really great friends until it was halfway through my grade 8 year, which is when disaster began to strike again, and my life became a living hell. A rumor got started about me from one of the girls inside of the group, and everyone returned to hating me. While my entire group of friends dropped me like I was infected with swine flu, Aurora had built up an army of friends who would gladly make my day worse to make her happy. My locker partner made sure that every day for class I would be late and get yelled at. They created new songs to lower my self-esteem. People gave me dirty looks, and it got to the point where I couldn't handle it anymore. I was so used to being bullied before I met her, and I was okay with it. But after knowing what it feels like to be happy when having friends, it was really hard to go back to having no one. I avoided people as much as I could, came to school late every day so I wouldn't see my locker partner, and became extremely depressed. Life was awful, and if being bullied at school wasn't hard enough, I went home to see my mom getting really sick. The day of our graduation photo was really the most memorable moment of all of grade 8. I got dressed up, did my hair, makeup, and was excited since this moment signifies that I get to leave this school soon and leave behind all of these horrible people too. During recess, I was standing by myself as usual when this huge group of girls walked up to me. In the center, there was Aurora with a huge smile on her face. I thought she was going to try and make amends and say we can be friends, forget about everything, and my stomach was getting butterflies at the thought. I smiled as she said, "I love your dress," and then she paused for a moment. "I have the same one, but I don't look like a fat pig in mine." All of the girls cackled, and I paused for a moment processing what she had said, and then turned around quickly and ran away. I knew I was going to cry, and I'm sure they did too, but I had to keep running since I wouldn't give them the satisfaction of seeing it. Eric saw me running inside and followed me. He asked me what had happened, and I explained to him what she had said. He hugged me and told me, "She's obsessed with making you unhappy, so you're clearly always on her mind. If anything, she's doing this because she's jealous she isn't more like you." I cried heavily into his chest. I wanted everything to just stop for a moment. I think that's probably something everyone thinks once in their life. Everything is always moving so quickly, and everything happens to you so quickly. When you have to make an important decision, when you're having a day where everything seems to go wrong, when you're really happy and you don't want things to change. It's so hard to imagine yourself as a speck on the earth, and that the earth is just a speck in the universe. But it's true. You have to learn to disconnect yourself at times from what's going on around you and see the bigger picture in your life. I've learned a lot from that experience, and I think it's important to try and reflect on what you've learned or gained from every negative experience to turn it into more of a learning experience. Don't make your happiness dependent on other people because they can't always be there for you, and eventually you will be let down. Learn what makes you happy and do that thing. I've learned that I love writing, video games, anime, reading, and makeup since I had to find something to do by myself. I've also become more in love with YouTube, and now I make my own YouTube videos, and maybe, somewhere in the world, I might be as important to someone as Trisha Paytas is to me, and that's a really cool thought to have. These negative experiences suck to go through and are super emotionally draining. If you feel alone, I understand how you feel. I've come home from school and had to act happy to my parents and cried on my bed all night. I've skipped school to not have to be around people. I've ate lunch in a bathroom stall, been spit on by people, have had people tell me to kill myself, and everything else people could think of to throw at me. It sucks so much, and it feels like the end of the world, and it's hard to see past any of it. It seems like it'll never stop, but one day you'll be strong, and you'll be able to leave all of those people behind you. You can get through it, and I won't sugarcoat it. It will suck, and you will feel like giving up, but I believe you can get through it. I find that the most helpful thing for me to get through my problems is music. If you click the link in the description or the box on the screen, you will be sent to a huge playlist of music that helped me get through my depression and bullying. Feel free to message me here on YouTube, Twitter, or Instagram if you need someone to talk to. I won't promise to help solve the problem, but I can be here for you and listen. Bye, dinosaurs.